Everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Good morning, you guys. Yesterday I was watching this TikTok of this girl talking about this nursing student who was caught cheating on her NCLEX. And I guess what was going on is they had the dean of the nursing school literally there, like supervising the test. And they noticed that she was having somebody remote control her computer. And the way they found that out was because she literally had her hands in her lap the entire time, and somebody was remote controlling her computer. Well, she ended up getting expelled, and also expelled from ever taking the NCLEX, which is very serious, but also I get it. Well, anyways, it reminded me of a time in college when a cheating incident occurred, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Obviously, I've been out of college now for 12 years, which is crazy. But during my junior year, I took this class called Women in African Studies. Very fitting, right? And the teacher was an older African woman. I'm not gonna lie, she was not very likable. She was definitely on the older side. She seemed overwhelmed all the time and not super happy to be there. So nobody really loved her. I also think she was really harsh with her grading, kind of for no reason. Well, we had our midterm coming up, and she's at the front of the class. I should also say that this class was pretty small, because at my college we had huge lecture halls. This was a classroom of maybe 30 people, which is pretty small. And she's at the front of the classroom, and she's going over she's got the answer key, I guess, to the midterms, and she's telling us notes from it, right? Take a note about this, note about this, blah blah blah. So we're all taking notes. Well, somebody raises their hand in the back of the class, and because she was hard of hearing, she would usually walk all the way over to them. So I'm sitting probably in the middle of the class. Someone raised their hand in the back of the class. She walks to the back of the class. As she's walking to the back of the class, I see this kid jolt up from his seat towards the front of the class, she had already passed him. Go up to her desk at the front of the class. Keep in mind, the whole class is seeing this. The professor is not, because her back is to the front of the class, right? He's literally taking pictures of this answer key, flipping the page, taking a picture. The person that's even asking the question in the back, I think, was in on it, because they keep asking more questions. The teacher's trying to understand what they're talking about. This kid's at the front flipping through. I mean, the whole class is witnessing him do it. Everybody just kind of is in a freeze state. The fight or flight, everybody's just in freeze. We were almost at the end of the class, by the way. The class was almost about to be over for the day. He finishes taking his pictures. He runs back to his seat just as she turns around. Just as she turns around and goes back to the class. Everybody, this has now become a social experiment, right? Because everybody's now looking at each other, do we say something? The kid is just sitting there, and the class ends. And as we're packing up, there's a lot of commotion, so you can't hear everything. I hear someone else say to the kid, "You better send me that. If you don't want to be expelled, you better send me that." I'm like, oh my gosh. So now we've got a blackmailer, okay, on the loose. So crazy. I was like, God, Lord knows that I would love this answer key, but I just have too many morals and too many ethics for this right now. But at the same time, I'm not going to be the snitch, because mama didn't raise no snitch, okay? So, long story short, I just left. I packed up my stuff and left. Some kids took pictures of his pictures, or he sent them the pictures, whatever. Well, I bet you're all wondering what happened next. What happened next is midterms came around. I got into that classroom. Tell me why there was 10 people missing from the class due it's not always a good idea. It's never a good idea to cheat, but definitely not that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day.
Oh man, we would have all been cheating for real. Oh, Michael B. Jordan won. Oh, I knew that movie was good as hell. I ain't gonna lie, that movie was good. Whatever, man. Like everybody should get the best supporting actor. The best storyline, the best everything. Cause that movie was good as hell. So shout out to Michael B. Jordan, man. I'm glad he won that. I was waiting to see if he was gonna win that. But yeah, somebody a big snitch. You know what? When I was in college, I never cheated. Ooh. My friend. This was before like I don't know how people were taking tests before, but my friend used to take tests for people and get paid to take tests and do homework and stuff for people. He used to actually get paid to take tests and do homework for people in college. Yeah, that's a true fact. So when you hear about people from India becoming a doctor and coming to America, and then you get an American doctor, I don't want no American doctor. I don't want no American doctor. There's a high percentage chance that your American doctor cheated his way through college. There's a high percentage chance he cheated his way through college. That's why they don't know shit. For real. That's a fact. So don't give me no white man. Nope. Go give me that foreigner. Cause them foreigners work hard. I'm just saying. And also, when I was in college, um, I it I had a few teachers. My teachers, like my history teacher, he used to be like, when he give his lectures, he'd be like, "This is gonna be on a test," and he'll be telling his lecture, he's speaking, and he'd be like, "This is gonna be on a test." so write that shit down. Like he'd be like, "That's what it be," and then when it's on the test, you be like, "Check mark." Like, don't be a fool. Then I was in calculus 2 at OU. Shout out Boomer Soner. I was at OU. My calculus teacher, she was Russian. Oh my God. She couldn't speak a lick of English. And she used to just she used to rush through everything. She was Russian and she was always rushing. And she would be like, okay, these are how the problems on the quiz will be, or on the midterms or whatever, the test we was gonna take. These are how the problems gonna be. So she write the problem down, and I'm like, I'm writing everything. And just to tell you, I'm coming from my job. I worked at a tax job, so I'm coming from my job, zooming down to Norman, coming to class. I'm 28 or 29 years old with a bunch of 18 and 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds chilling in class. I'm writing all my shit down. And I was balding then too. So it was like, damn, I'm balding. But it was some white guys in there balding too. So I wasn't the only one that was balding. But then she was like, write this down because these were how this is the sequence of how things will be on the test. So boom, boom. And I used to actually go in class and record her. I would go in class and record her. so I can go back and review my notes. Cause that's what you got to do in college. You know, you got to use this. You got to record the ass because they be lying too. So, but I wrote down all those problems word for word, or you know, every the calculus, every x, every all that shit, and then went to go take the test, and you could take your notes in there so you can like use your notes to do the problems, because you couldn't do the problems by calculator. You had to do them by hand. Then you had to do the problems by hand. Then you had to do the problem by calculator. That's what it was. Like you had to like, so you had to push the step 2, all that shit, all that bullshit on that Texas Instrument, the calculator with 102 keys on it. But the thing is, the question, the problems that she gave us in the practice was the exact same ones on the tests. Exact same ones. Man, let's just say your boy passed calculus too. And I was on my way to my master's degree. Yeah, boy. Hey, I was not playing. I was happy. And then, you know, I had a class. It was Western civilization. It was Western civilization something or whatever. And he said, "Okay, you gotta watch Hamlet, right?" So he sent us a link to Hamlet. These are 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Bro, the Hamlet that he sent me, the Hamlet he sent was 8 hours long, bro. 8 hours long. Look, that one's 3 hours. That one's 3 hours. I was like, I can't dedicate 8 hours to watching Hamlet. It was boring as hell. It was boring. So I watched maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I typed up my story based on that. And then he was like, "You didn't watch the entire story." So I was like, bruh, who got time to sit down for 8 hours and watch a story, bro? And I probably could have watched a shorter version of Hamlet and got the entire story. But I told him, I was like, man, I didn't get through it because I don't. First of all, they not talking about shit, but he had certain questions that he wanted answered based on that video. So you had to go through and answer those questions, and I was like, bro, this dude is tripping. And that's college. So college in a nutshell is the hardest educational experience you'll ever have, and you gotta be dedicated to it. If not, you won't succeed.
Everyday people. Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.